Hello, Quack and Smite fans. We are back with a game between two middle division opponents with me. As yesterday, to start the day off in casting and the season, I got Uchi again with me.
How's it going today, Hunter?
Pretty good, Uchi. Pretty good. All right. So we got the cast and Amas game yesterday. It was an interesting one. Saw some dominating fashion out of the solo lane of that one, and now today we're gonna have another matchup between the two middle division teams. I want to say the Tyrannos team, and then the Frost Wolves.
Yes.
So two pretty decent teams looking on paper. Two decent squads on the side of them. I don't know if you know a lot of these players, but if you do, who do you think has the edge? Just kind of based on rosters.
Um, I'm not too familiar with the rosters of these, but I do know that going off the. I actually got no comment, man. I'm sorry about that.
Nah, all good, all good. I mean, I know a couple of these people. I know Kexon on the side of the Raptors. I know some players that he's got on his team. I know
Oh,
some players on the Frost Foxes here. But I feel like this will be a decent matchup. Will be pretty competitive. But hey, we'll see. Here. Going into picks and bans. Uh, what, All right, so have a little bit of production difficulties there, but so Uchi, we got some major games going on right now. Your team's supposed to be playing what at the 10 p.m. slot.
yes.
So how do you think your team's gonna do, man? You think your team's gonna pull out that dub at 10 p.m.?
I'm pretty confident in the swarm, man. I'm hoping we can stay undefeated throughout the whole org.
Oh, your Amers and Miners team went undefeated.
Two O's, both
Two
yesterday.
O's for both. Yeah, today these past couple days was a 2-0 fest. I'm pretty sure not a single game went to game number 3. Every game a lot of the games are in dominant fashion for one team, kind of just, setting their marks on the early season. Some of that has to do with some teams are scrimming, some teams aren't. Others it's like some of them are just drafting friends that they've been playing with for 3, 4, 5 seasons. So, those teams a lot easier for them to kind of mesh well into the start of the season. But, don't fret. Those teams that had bad performances week 1, get some scrims in, play a little bit, and then maybe come out week 2 and then show, hey, actually we're the dominant force in this league.
And I do agree with that quite a bit. Last season was my first season coming in, and we did a bit rough throughout the start of the season, but we were able to bring it back to playoffs by the end. So it's all about the work you put in my opinion.
All right, and we are going to go back in to the picks and bans. Finally, Smite having a little bit of bugs yet again. I mean, we had a nice little bug in our minors game yesterday where the entire lobby was lagging nonstop. So that was a nice little issue there. First ban, Dodgy, another one of those staple bans, right? Just a very annoying god. Honestly, I feel like you can pick that god into really any meta, any comp really. There's not really anything that is too aggressive into her. Maybe a couple things that are annoying for her. And then the other side, we were seeing that Kepri ban. Yesterday I asked you, do you like what type of bans you wanted to say? You said Guan, you said Yamoja. So do you really think like these more healing gods are the gods that we should be banning?
I don't necessarily want to say they're top priority because I think that goes by team, but I will say just the amount of CC and control that Yamoja can bring to a game, in my opinion, if played well, is just incredible.
Yeah, I mean, those both of those gods have some good presence throughout the entirety of the game. Guan Yu a little bit lacking on the early side, but that healing combined with Fade Bless, I feel like is just a very tough item to kind of eat through in any team. These junglers are diving their backlines. They're getting shield upon shield procced with Shell and these Fade Bless. So I feel like this Yamoja ban here by the Frostbox is a really good ban. Though they are first pick, maybe they could have looked to hold it. But I mean, it looks like they are slotting for maybe that Guan Yu pick up there. We do see Ardio getting banned in King Arthur. Am I missing something here, Uchi?
I'm a bit confused too. Artio counters King Arthur, so banning one and then the other. Kind of surprising to me as well.
Let it be written.
Yeah,
Defeated by Knight
I don't know.
Lancelot.
When's the last time you've ever seen Ardio even really meta? I mean, how
Uh,
long ago was that?
I mean, last week I did see her in the SPL, I believe, but at my level, you don't see her very, very often.
Deed shall be written in
Maybe a
legend.
counter matchup. That's about really it. But we do see the Lance picked up first again as well.
Yeah, Lance coming through, and then Raptors though they're getting that dominant soul laner in that Guan Yu, the late game menace.
I
I
will
mean,
leave
you were talking about the
standing
King
no
Arthur
barrier to our
really, or
success.
my bad, the Ardia really being more of a counter matchup type of god. But I mean, the best counter matchup she's really into is King Arthur, and they already banned that. So I mean, interesting bans coming through, but maybe they wanted to keep open some of this more top tier gods. Maybe try to trade out as they did. You know, seeing that Lancelot and the Guan Yu. Ganesha getting finished out on the side of the Raptors, and then Pele coming in. I mean, I've been seeing Pele. We saw Pele yesterday in a couple minors games. Is Pele the real deal?
In one of my other teams, Pele is played pretty often. I do think she can be a strong contributor to team fights as well, just as quickly getting picked. But we do see, my girl Charybdis getting locked in there.
Yeah, Charybdis and the Cabrakan. Cabrakan, another amazing pick. I'm surprised he lasted that long. That will more than likely be slotted into the solo lane, but you could even see its support. Charybdis, though, great into Cabrakan and even Lancelot. Can't be stopped out of going underground in that 3. Cabrakan ult won't affect her. Lancelot ult won't affect her. Even Pele ult won't really affect her either all too much. So it's just a matter of, are they going to be able to get her 3 out by baiting it out and then killing her on the back end of it?
Well, I think the biggest thing with that too is they're gonna have to get the 3 down before the Bracken ult. Because if they just try to wait out the ult, she's still just gonna slip right through, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I mean if the 3 is down, she's very easily killable, but it's just a matter of getting that 3 down. Going into the second phase of bans, they're the side of the Raptors, they're targeting these hunters, right? They're getting out this Cernanos. They're getting out Ishtar now too. On the other side, they're gearing more towards the junglers, right? They already have their jungle, they have their solo and their support. Now they're looking to take away some other hyper carry jungles that the Raptors would maybe like to look at.
Yeah, the Merc band, bit surprising me. We really haven't seen him too much lately as far as competitive, in my opinion. That I've seen at least. The Kama though, Kama can just be utterly annoying in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, also came out really good. He can just go up in the air, immune a lot of the damage that team wants to burst out. The Frostfoxes actually have a very high CC comp, very bursty too. So, maybe Mercury wouldn't have been the best into that. Mercury doesn't really
Evil
thrive all
doesn't
too well
stand a
into these high
chance.
burst comps. And then now on the side of the Raptors, Ratatasker going in the second phase. They're such a good god. That will more than likely slot into the jungle. I don't see Guan Yu going anywhere else besides the solo lane. And then on the other side for the Frost Foxes, E-Set, an amazing mage in the mid lane. We were talking about healing. Here's your healing.
That's true. That's also a very good objective secure. Maybe with the amount of CC they have, try to look for these early objective fights here. Although they do lock in the Freya, who is a late game.
Yeah, I mean, all right. So they go back the double magical backline here. I have a question for you. Do you think that going double backline of the same type of damage is just terrible for the team? I mean, is this Guan Yu just gonna build magical damage and be unkillable to this E-Set and Freya?
I do think that's going to play a big factor.
I should have
I'm thinking
created a
the
world
Lance
that
goes
you do
solo
not
here,
exist in.
and that does leave the Pele in the jungle. But if they're initiating, and the Cabrakan's probably running up there with them, who's really back there to pump out this damage that they're going to need? Because I see the Rat just jumping in my opinion, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be very hard right now. I mean, the Frost Foxes have that dive comp in their top 3. I mean, their back 3. I mean, the Freya can be a little bit safe, can go up into the air with that ultimate. So can peel a little bit for herself. Iset, though, does have that ultimate, to survive for himself, but Rat more than likely going to build some anti-heal. A lot of anti-heal going to be coming through for that team. So it's going to be a little difficult to see being able to keep this E-Set alive. And then to round off the Raptors draft, talking about things we don't see all too often, and we got a Tiamat getting locked in.
I think the Tiamat brings a lot of pressure, though, especially once you get to this late game. Early game, maybe not so much. You're working on getting your abilities up, everything like that. But when she can just throw some minions while they're going for an objective, keep pushing, getting that XP while she's not even in lane, I think it's pretty strong, man.
Yeah, I mean, Tiamat used to be a dominant force in the middle lane, though. You know, with the nerfs to a lot of the flat pen items, you haven't really been seeing her much all too often. I mean, and with the changes to everyone's prots and everyone getting more HP, more protections, you know, Tiamat, you know, that jumping stance when she jumps into the ground stance, that mitigation, that extra prots that she would get were insane. But now it just feels like she's not as tanky anymore as she used to be.
Yeah, leaning back more from the battle mage back to kind of trying to be a utility mage, I feel. Haven't really seen her too much lately to really give a firm opinion on it though.
Yeah, that's the mystery. But hey, guess what? Going into game number 1 here, we're gonna find out how that goes. So, Uchi,
Hmm.
who do you believe is going to win this game?
Personally, I'm gonna have to give it to the Raptors. I think they just have the better setup, peel, and survivability overall, man. I mean, we got triple initiate on the Foxes, but you got the Ganesh to stop with the silence. They got the Charybdis who can get out, the Tia who can jump away, Rat jump in the air, Guan just horse out or horse in. I just think the safety and the ability to get in there is on the side of the Raptors here.
Yeah, I mean, if the Frost Foxes can dive in, like you're saying, get that damage off, I think they have a very good chance of winning that. But with this Guan Yu there on the back line, Ganesh more than likely going to get a shell in there too. It's going to be very hard for them to be able to burst down these backliners very quickly on their dive. And we are now going live to game number 1 between the Raptors and the Frost Foxes. All right, build wise, we don't see anything really too crazy. I mean, Freya though is going mannequins. Maybe that's a little bit on the crazier side of things in this new meta. I mean, mannequins. I feel like early game it's really good, but I mean, what's your opinion on this?
I think they're trying to make sure they get the pressure here. You know, Charybdis has pretty great clear. Pair that with a Ganesh, it's not too bad. Freya kind of lacking in that department, but they do have a Kabrakan. So I'm thinking they're going for the 3 mannequins burn on the wave to try to fight.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the times though, you've been seeing Freya go this conduit gem. I feel like conduit gem giving a lot of pressure. Honestly, it might even get more than mannequins right now. But I mean, maybe its Hunter knows a little bit something that we don't know. He decides to go more with the mannequins there. Maybe he wants to fight in these 1v1s and believes mannequins is kind of doing that. Guan Yu on the solo side, being
Al-
that bully that he is, just
Also,
kind of showing Lancelot who's the boss of that lane.
also gives a bit more protections to the Freya as well. You know, like I said, the Charybdis can clear pretty well. Looks like they're actually going to get the lane dominance here.
I mean, yeah, I mean, Ian's on the Kabrakan. Kabrakan is just basically can clear the wave by himself, so it'd be very difficult for this Frost Foxes to lose wave pressure. But I mean, I've seen some crazier things. This support though still level 1, so he's got to watch out here. They might get gone on though. Its Hunter very low, but yeah, look at Glitcher here now. He's in a bit of trouble. But I honestly think Freya saved in that 4-step beads. That's tough. Almost killing the support to getting your own beads thrown out there as both hunters are kind of trading out. So, I mean, in this early game here, does Ghostman need to kind of press its hunter, right? Like you're talking about this Freya. Once it gets to late game, it's going to be very difficult to kind of contain this Freya. But I mean, if Ghostman gets his Freya 2-3 levels behind, what do you need to contain?
Uh, I think at that point you just keep controlling the farm, man. I mean, if you can keep a Freya down as long as possible, that's never a problem. I do think though, I now that I'm actually seeing the full rosters, I have played against this hunter. Dude did beat me on Charybdis, so we will see how this goes.
Yeah, it's Hunter in a lot of leagues. Been around playing quite a lot. He was on my team in Valhalla last season when we made it to the finals. He's a good dude, a good player too. Honkler though, kind of saying, "Hey, Mr. Bud Den, we both got some horses here. Let me show you why my horse is a little powerful, but maybe not as powerful as I thought." As Bud Den get the dash, gets the slow, this spinning axe will pick up the kill. Bud Den, first blood on Honkler.
And I just think that right there is a little bit of the difference with playing the assassins in the solo there. Electing for that soul eater again, but we see Guan also going the tainted. Uh, Pretty crazy in my opinion.
I mean, I Tainted just really a bloated item as you see there with the stats. A lot of power, a lot of prots early on. I mean, it's just Guan, man. He's got that prot shit, right?
Mhm.
Assassins, they really kind of want to get to that level 5, level 6, level 7 when they want to start just kind of running at people. Guan Yu, I mean, if you don't have that wave pressure over him, he just kind of bullies you the entire time in this laning phase. And as you're kind of seeing, he's bullying this Lancelot.
Coming back here with a bit low of health there, but we do have Quexen showing up to make sure that everything's fine.
Yep, invade coming through on the purple side of the map, but no good is Glitcher. He was a little bit too late. Ian, though, pressing his luck a little bit too much. His ADC is backing, but they decided not to go onto him. All right, so, we got mid lane. We've got ESET. We've got Tiamat, right? Late
Mhm.
game, this ESET, is she just going to become more of a CC setting up mage where she just tries to throw out a stun so their dive can kill someone and then ult just to stay alive as long as possible? Or do you think this team should really more gear towards and work towards, like, setting up for her ultimate on objectives as a play?
With what we were talking about with the Iset and the Freya being the back line here, I think she's going to have to go for some more of that burst type. We do see the sands there, which will help with the cooldown with the sands of time. Maybe another cooldown item along the way, but I do think burst would be the best option here.
Yeah, I mean, and hey, if there's one thing ESET can do, it's get that big burst. Kexen, looking on the duo side of this map, kind of hoping they step out of this tower. While Ian is very mobile with the one activated, if that one is down, Kexen is going to be able to do a lot of damage. Ult up in the air by Rat. Ganesh ult 2 lands on the pillar. Big damage. Charybdis ult 3 ults getting dumped for the life of the support. And now it's Hunter almost killing Glitcher, but Shell coming through, saving his own life.
Beautiful team play there. I believe the comms were just on point and everybody was able to execute their point perfectly there.
Oh yeah, that Ganesh ult was top notch. Am I right? I mean, throws it there. Kexen drops down, knocks him up in it, does so much damage onto his life bar. And now look at this, right? They're kind of showing their dominance on one side of the map in the dual lane, getting a pick, and now Honkler's getting his blue buff invaded.
And we saw this a lot yesterday, man. Just a lot of contention over here, probably for the totem, where the jungle's just here, constantly fighting over these blues yesterday, and it's kind of looking like we're about to see a lot of them taken again, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, kind of what you were saying, like what happened yesterday. Right now, the Frost Foxes, they're kind of little uncoordinated. Maybe Uncle Fable needs to get a little in tune, maybe with Honkler here, or maybe just it's a Guan Yu, so maybe you just don't want to deal with that, right? That healing is insane. There's no way he's gonna die if he has his Calgary charge up. So maybe look to pressure this Charybdis, right? Bait that ult up. Maybe try and get a pick on the duo side of the map.
Yeah. We do see the Devos finally getting bot full out by Ghostman here. Looks like he's going to start stacking before that Bancroft is online with the fray.
Yeah, Bancroft's items is a little bit more expensive, and they did get that first blood on the way of Charybdis, so those stacks are going to come in pretty crucial. But when that Bancroft is finished, that Bancroft is going to hit way harder than that Devils ever will. As you see here, talking about big damage, he doesn't even have the Bancroft finished, almost going to kill Charybdis. The knockup coming through, but the ult on the side of its Hunter picks up the kill on Ghostman. Meanwhile, on the solo side, Honkler gets soloed yet again by Bud Nen.
Personal flashbacks with that kill there by its Hunter, though. Man is a menace over there. Turned that fight pretty quickly after almost losing it there for a second.
Uncle Fable doing his best to try to pick up the soul laner. Kexen, though, coming in, peeling for a solo. Goodbye. See you later. Kexen deletes Fable off of the map, and that is a kill jungler for jungler picking up the kill on to the other jungler. It's Drayo now. We were talking about that. It's going to be hard keeping this man alive, getting dove by the other mid laner Tiamat. He's acting like a jungler there, but not enough damage coming through. That early game Tiamat just doesn't have the damage input. It's Hunter rotating over, doing a little bit of poke, but it seems like both teams are just going to kind of safely get out here.
Ooh, that double stun there for a second, though. Not much off of it, but still a good play. Ooh,
Oh my goodness, no, Honkler. Come on, Honkler, please, at least trade the kills out here, man. Honkler falls again, and then Ghostman picking up biggest Ian. This can't be a worse thing happening. We get a soul lane kill again, 2 levels down the soul lane, and now the other Hunter rotates over after dying in the laning phase to pick up the support. I mean, like the Frost Foxes, the Frost Foxes just kind of getting out rotated to everything.
Yeah, I mean, the complete map control here is going to the Raptors, man. They're just everywhere they need to be, pretty much at the exact time they need to be.
So interesting. We were talking about that Bancrofts that you're gonna see out of this Freya. Freya deciding to instantly opt in for the upgrade and goes for not the Typhon's Fangs, which gives the shields. Decides to opt for the one that provides attack speed. I mean, would you upgrade it this early though? Seeing as how he doesn't have any other items online with power. So I mean, how much more attack speed does that really give you?
It gives the 100 power at the bottom percentage. So even if you go by that, that's only going to be 4 attack speed roughly. So personally, for me, I would have waited, maybe picked up another ring or something first, then went into it.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like the 600 gold is a hefty price, but I mean, hey, he's been doing his dominance and talking about dominance. Bud Nen in the soul lane again, doing it to him. Now look at this, Ian trying to pick up the kill onto the support. Missing though is the E set all. Didn't have enough stacks there on it. Didn't really want to pop it on the support. Probably would have done little to no damage. I mean, that is a big ultimate down though on this mid laner. And now the Raptors kind of hovering around this Gold Fury and looking at Drayo in the mid lane.
And I'm not exactly sure the cooldown in it or on E-Settle, but it does leave open a lot of possibilities for them to try and maybe go for a pyro when it comes up, maybe try to get this gold for a couple. There we go. We got the cooldown, 90 seconds. So
yeah, that E set all being down for 90 seconds is going to be very tough for the side of the Frost Foxes if this Raptors team decides to maybe look to pull a fight around this Gold Fury. I do know Pyro is spawning. His ultimate won't be up in time for that, so could even look at a Pyro play. I mean, Bud Nen is 3 levels up. I mean, why would you not want to fight on the solo side of the map, right?
I mean, getting that proxy in, man, doing exactly what we were just talking about. Looks like they're trying to set up for maybe an early pyro or something here.
I mean, all right, so we were talking about this yesterday, right? There was another solo laner that got massively big. As we're talking about massively big solo laners, he is looking at a gank in the middle lane. The ult from the support coming through. The Calgary charge coming through on the E-set. E-set gets dunked and destroyed. Bud Nen picking up the last hit on there. Gabrakan trying his best to clean up, and he cleans up a kill onto Ganesh there. But, oh, I thought they were going to trade that out. But look at this. They've been diving so long underneath this tower, and they're still alive. It's only 10 minutes into the game. Bud Nen is going to be so difficult to kill as the Calgary charge comes through a little bit off the mark. Kexen more than likely will get out. Not enough damage coming through on Honkler here. But look at this. Back in on their dash coming through. The axe spin. X Hunter forced to ult just to survive. I mean, this is a dominant fashion coming out of Bud Nen in the solo lane.
And I'm thinking, the Foxes here, man, they're going to have to get this anti-heal online a bit sooner, in my opinion. You got the Guan looking like he's going the Fey Hoops. You got the Ganesh over here with the male renewal. Charybdis hasn't fully stacked Devos at this point. Soul Gem on Tiamat. It's just a lot of healing, man.
I mean, more than likely, this E-set's going to go Divine here, right? I mean, tier 2, that would more likely be a Divine. I mean, we're hoping Pele's going to build a Brawler's Beat Stick there. Could go Crusher, but I'm begging for a Brawler's Beat Stick. But yeah, that's what they need. They need a little bit of anti-heal. They do have the anti-heal on Lancelot, though. Lancelot didn't get into that fight till later. I mean, we were talking about the Raptors pulling the Pyromancer here, but here's the Frost Foxes. They got that E-set ult back up. This should be a free Pyromancer. Maybe didn't need the ult there, but hey, better safe than sorry.
And we see it's Hunter also securing the oracles here. Make sure that gold vision's up so they can't try to sneak that while they're grabbing.
It's Hunter's ultimate is down, and he got caught in a terrible spot. Stun coming through, Ganesh all coming through, and Kexen cleaning up the Hunter for the Frost Foxes.
Man, and you see Hunter, or you see Quexen here with Brawlers already online for himself.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's got the anti-heal. I mean, same thing on their side of the team. They have a lot of healing. They got 3 gods healing. As Rat going up into the air, the knock-up, not the case because she was, it was in her wing gust there, but the stun coming through from Rich, and the kill gets picked up by Rich with the 1 on the back end there. But that's what we were talking about, right? Who's going to be able to peel for them when the dive comes through? That Rat ult that you were saying just came through, and no one was able to stop him.
I do have a question for you here, Hunter. If you look at the Freya, It seems we're picking up the Chiron coin. Do you see any merit to that?
Yeah, I don't know this. This should be some. I guess this maybe is some hidden tech, but I've never seen this. Well, what do you think about it? I mean, wait just a second though. Goldfeeder getting pulled a little bit off the mark as Uncle Fable ulting in, but that will more than likely be his life. Ghostman executing one, executing two. Goodbye, see you later. In 30 seconds when you respawn.
You know, I'm known as a Charybdis one trick man. I'm loving seeing these plays off Ghostman here, man. He's doing a phenomenal job on Charybdis.
I mean, yeah, you know, it's not too often that you see Charybdis ult actually doing damage and executing and killing people. Normally, you just see it to watch her run away from people. That ultimate, not the best of ADCs. You know, doesn't do a lot of damage. Very predictable to dodge, but I mean, hey, Ghostman's making it work.
Yeah, it's pretty good. We are seeing the Shadow Steel. Hopefully, able to box this Freya here soon too, as Freya is keeping up in level.
I mean, yeah, a little bit of anti-heal coming through, but I just don't know if it's going to be enough, right? The passive with Freya, the Bancrofts, more than likely might go like a Typhon's here soon or something like that to get a little bit more lifesteal. I mean, it is a plus side. It is a little bit more meta. I've been seeing a lot of SPL teams build that, but I don't know. I feel like if you're Charybdis, you just want to get to the late game, let Bud then carry you there, and then just kind of take this lead that they have and expand on it.
Now, also with Chirons, that has to be fully stacked for the HP5 effect, correct?
Yeah, you get stacks based on that. You do have some base HP 5 coming in on it, but every stack gives you a coin flip of either movement speed or HP 5. So at max, she will have 50 HP 5, so a lot of life steal, some decent amount of HP 5. Her Gabrakan normally won't be around her, so you know maybe she wants some HP 5 for herself since her support won't be able to provide it for her.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking about because I did just remember that. Maybe this play ends up making a little bit more sense than we originally thought.
Maybe, who knows? I beg to differ, but you know, maybe it will. Maybe it will.
Yeah.
We do see them there trying to pick out that Ganesha as they invaded the red buff, but I mean, look, Ganesha is 4 levels up. Like, you're not the only person that's gonna be able to do any form of damage to this Ganesha, who's the same level as their mid laner and 2 levels above their jungler, is gonna be this Freya. But I mean, Freya has 20% pen, but I mean, that's about it. Like, it doesn't matter how ahead of Freya ever is. Like, she's not going to be able to one-shot a Ganesh on her own.
You know, we see it here in solo again too, but they don't even care about these towers, man. They don't even have an imp yet, just casually chilling there.
I mean, yeah, Bud then has his own sustain. They did have a couple of minions there and there, so it was very easy. Uncle Fable trying to help his solo laner, but instead pays the price. Murdered. Blink coming in. Dash coming in. Lancelot off the horse. They might be able to pick up Bud Nen here on the backside, though. Come on, guys. You can't let him get out. Beads coming through. He does get out. He does live. Kexen survives, too, and now Glitcher is there to peel for the rest of his team. Eset getting left on an island and murdered, and now Biggest Ian. A good stun. But I mean, it's Cabrakan support, man. You just don't do damage. No kills going the way of the Frost Foxes as the Raptors just kind of came into their home under that tier 2 tower and stole everything.
You know, I really think it's coming down to Hunter just keeping what he's doing, getting that power farm real quick. But is this an early fire we're looking at?
I believe they can do it. They're hunters over there. I mean, all 5 of them are there. They should be able to have the shred to do it. And then they do have that Guan sustain, though. The Frost Foxes, I don't think they know that they're on it. This should be pretty free, and it more than likely will be. No one's going to be able to get there. A 16-minute Fire Giant. That has to feel bad for the Frost Foxes.
Yeah, and you also see they're almost a full 10K down now.
Yeah, I mean, 9K down at 16 minutes. That's a tough comeback, man. Right? Like, it's gonna start to turn into one of those. You're gonna need a miracle play, right? You're gonna need a big combinations of ultimates to come through. You maybe need the Raptors to mess up once or twice, so then you can start to bleed away at this gold. But I mean, with Fire Giant up, with this massive gold lead, they're gonna have to do a lot of messing up in order for the Frost Foxes to get back in this game.
Yeah, and something else I just also noticed, although it has happened throughout the course of the game, is all the T1s are down on the Foxes already. With this Fire Giant, they may be able to just quickly seal the deal with these T2s, maybe pick up a bird as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's where a lot of this lead, I mean, the kills are 16-2, right? So you do have a 14 kill discrepancy, a decent amount of kills. in terms of the Raptors, but I mean, a lot of the gold is coming from these towers too, right? I mean, each one of these towers provides a decent amount of gold for each one of your teammates. It's tough, right? If you're losing towers and down in kills, it's just a recipe for disaster. I mean, and look, they're kind of feeling this pressure now. Uncle Fable can't even be in his own jungle to farm.
You know, it looks here like I don't know how to say his name. I'm sorry, but the Ganesh here on the Raptors, it looks like he's actually caught up to the mid lane and solo now at this point of the Foxes.
Yeah, I mean, as I was saying earlier, right? Like this Ganesha, unkillable at this point, right? There's not a lot of pen either on the side of the Frost Foxes. He can make a lot of bold plays like that, just ulting and dashing in, getting beats of It's Hunter. Now the Calgary charge coming through, gonna run a set. Kexon on the other side, picking up Fable, and now Bud Nen is on that backline, being a menace. Lancelot trying his best to run away, but not good enough. The kills coming through, guys. You still have a tier 2 tower. Why are you diving the Phoenix? Another kill though, says Ghostman. We don't care about this Phoenix. We're gonna kill you, Bud Nen. Getting a little overzealous there though, and now they are setting their sights on this Phoenix on the right side. You think maybe they can end here?
Personally, I think they have a chance to go for it, man. I mean, we just saw them go from T2 all the way to Titan almost to wipe the team. I think at this point, there's really not much to stop this game unless they can maybe get a deicide here.
I mean, a lot of the members of the Frost Foxes are coming back. Ian ulting there. Was kind of hoping the tower would do a lot of the damage and kind of kill Bud Nen, but he's so tanky. So much HP. Not able to pick up the kill there. Though I think Ganesha did. Oh no, Ganesha didn't even shell. The shell came out from the jungler there just to keep his solo laner alive. But I mean, look, now there's a Phoenix down. Now there's 2 tier 2s down. So that gold lead that you were talking about is now at 14k. So, I mean,
even more.
What can the Frost Foxes do, man? Did they just have to just kind of beg for any farm at this point and then just try to defend this next fire giant? You know, maybe try to steal it and then run away? Or do you think, hey, while they're busy attacking the fire giant, let's try to start a fight over there?
All right, so this is going to be a bit out there, but it's not EFG yet. I think maybe send one person that can get out, maybe the Pele, maybe the Lance, just somebody over there kind of show face for it. You know, keep getting the farm on the rest of these guys and just be there for a solid defense at your Titan right now. If they can make it past that, maybe grab full deicide or a couple picks, I think they may be able to try to get back a little bit into this. But again, not EFG. I don't think we need to put too much work into this one yet.
No, yeah, exactly. I agree with you, right? Raptors should just kind of, or Frost Foxes might just want to sack this fire giant, though it's going to be very rough to try to defend these Phoenixes. But I mean, honestly, they just need levels, man. This jungler's level 13 at 20 minutes. That's a tough one, right? Like, this Pele is not going to do damage and doesn't even have any percent pen online yet. So who's going to be able to kill any of these tankier targets? The jungler also building very tanky now too. So Pele's options of who to go on are very slim, right? Are you going to go on this Charybdis who can be very safe and keep the distance from you? Or are you going to aim for this Tiamat who honestly might just be able to one-shot you as you're going in?
Yeah, I mean, we see here also, I'm counting it up. It looks like out of all 5, we got a total of 40% pin over here on the Foxes, man. That's just, in my opinion, that's really the deciding factor in these fights, like you were saying. It's just nobody's able to just do anything to anybody.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of the problem of being this far behind, right? You don't really have the luxury of building items that you want to build anymore. You're kind of forced to flex into items that you maybe would go later on in your build much earlier. I mean, though we are 21 minutes in, so we're kind of in that stage of the late game. I mean, but look, this mid laner is going what looks to be a Soul Reaver. I would have liked an Obsidian Shard there, man. I want some percent pen. Somebody's got to do damage to these tanks when they're diving you.
Yeah, as of right now too, don't exactly know what It's Hunter's going, but it does look like Dre here. If he picks up that Obsidian Shard, you know, he'd have that full 40%. Maybe he could try to get some back in here on the tanks. It's Hunter may possibly be going for Demonic. but we see more flat pin coming out of the Lance, which
It's Dreo though, and the team getting forced out onto the back foot there. They started a fight while It's Hunter was in the soul lane splitting. Not the play. They should have just kind of ran away, gave up that fire giant, but instead they accepted the fight. Uncle Fable forced a beads knockup coming through, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Biggest Ian doing his best just to buy time. The support falls, and Uncle Fable was able to escape. That is 3 falling for the Frost Foxes, and now look, they're setting their sights onto this Titan. We thought they could do it maybe at like the 18-minute mark, but now they're looking to aim for it at the 23-minute mark. Though, you know, 3 up, they still have a chance to defend here. That Titan is going to hurt. Phoenix is up, but minion waves are in, so damage is still possible on this Titan. They're not really doing a whole lot of damage here. I'm very surprised. Kexen, though, deleting Uncle Fable. It's Hunter forced to just ult to keep himself alive. This Titan's getting very low. Good whoop there by him, forcing the damage onto someone else. And here comes the rest of the team. 1 kill coming through. Titan doing a lot of damage. Titan very low. Is this mid laner going to be able to pick up the kill? But then, what are you doing, man? Go in there and hit the Titan. Go in there, hit the Titan. Oh my goodness. Ghostman falling as he attempts. Now he goes back in. Calgary charge coming through. It's not going to be enough, though. You don't do enough damage to this Titan, though he picks up the kill on the Dreo. So at least maybe a plus side there. Now, Bud then going to fall here very soon. Gonna get last hit by the Titan. No, gonna probably fall to It's Hunter. And hey, there's that throw we were talking about.
Yeah, I mean, It's Hunter, man, down by himself, able to get that wolf right there, and able to turn that whole fight around, get exactly what they need. They got a little bit longer to try to keep this going now. You know, right? Phoenix back up. Titan's healing already. I mean, really, you got to give that play to It's Hunter, just trying to keep that team in there.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really good whoop, right? Whooped up the 2 tanks there, forced the damage onto the mid laner. That Titan hits hard. With just 1 tier 2 tower up, I can tell you that Titan does still hit pretty difficult, or pretty big damage numbers, not difficult. But I mean, hey, there's a little glimmer of hope there, right? There, I mean, hey, 13K, it still seems like a lot of a goal difference, but I mean, it was like 18, 19K earlier. Now look, maybe they're looking to get a pick here as they're grouped as 4, but I mean, Glitchers is probably unkillable still at this point. Way too much HP, way too much prots, and not enough pen still for the side of the Frost Foxes.
And does look here, I'm going to assume that is a Heartseeker coming out of the Pele. Passive really good in my opinion, but that's still only 10% pin into Guan with a finished tainted breastplate. You got Quexen here with the protector of the jungle. I don't see it still doing a whole lot, man. I mean, It's Hunter really is going to have to just try to do his best until his team's able to get these items online.
Kexen getting a little overzealous, forced to ult out just to survive, but no, he says, I'm going to go in, dunks down on support, does his damage, and then gets out. Cabrakan ulting just to peel for himself. There are 2 coming through, but the blink saves them. But now, here we go, it's Dreo again, kind of getting left on an island, not a whole lot of peel coming his way. Bud then is diving the tower, or diving the Phoenix by himself on the backside, though. Honkler trying his best just to keep the enemy team away, but no cigar for him. He falls, Fable falls, Ian falls, and now it's Dreo falls. Bud then is fighting basically 4 people, 3 against 1, and the Phoenix. He's gonna fall here to It's Hunter. There's no way he gets out of this one alive or even lives. Just trying his absolute best to buy time as his team is on that Fire Giant. It's Hunter gets a consolation prize there, but now the Fire Giant falls to the way of the Raptors.
I mean, you get pick up Fire Giant here, you may lose your solo, but I mean, you know, they got the time that they still can just make things happen, man. 4 people down, only It's Hunter again. I don't know if you can pull it off with them having Fire again, another wipe, man.
No, I mean, it's looking pretty tough at this point, right? But Bud Bonnen is just kind of being a nuisance. There's not really a whole lot of ways of stopping him. I mean, Guan Yu into a team comp that doesn't have a lot of CC to lock him down. I mean, they're gonna have to burst a lot of abilities down to kill him, right? And I honestly don't think they have the damage numbers right now to be able to do that. Still, this jungler's level 17 at 27 minutes. This mid laner 17 too, right? I mean, even the support at 27 minutes can't even upgrade his starter item. This Ganesha has compassion. So it's like, is it it's more than just a level diff, right? It's also these key item spikes that they're getting over the other team.
Yeah, I mean, for example, this Aaron died on the Pele, man. You got the 20% already. I would have loved to seen a Titan's Bane, even if you wanted to go the Heartseeker there, just something that would help you be impactful in these fights.
I mean, yeah, I mean Pele could look to dive the backline a little bit, right? Could maybe look at this Charybdis, maybe looking at Rich a little bit, but like we were saying, right, it's gonna be very hard because again, he's 2 levels down, a lot of items down. He doesn't do a lot of damage compared to these Honkler getting caught out on his own, trying to defend his tier 2 tower. Forced just to ult away, but then here he comes, that big mean bully coming on through. They're gonna attempt to defend this. Phoenix on the left side, Blink coming through onto, I believe that it's Dreo. It's Dreo gets deleted by the Kex and Bubba then combo on the backside. It's Hunter basically getting soloed by a Ganesha there. Rich picking up the kill on to the jungler there, Uncle Fable. Ghostman cleaning up Honkler. This is all she wrote, folks. No way in a 5v2 are they going to offend this time. It's Hunter had a great defense last time, but I'm calling this. That's game number 1 going to the Raptors.
You know, the Raptors just kept complete control of this map at all times, man. We saw it yesterday too with the Lance getting picked up. I'm not seeing with the meta we got right now. Lance just really working in much places. I think we gotta respect this Guan ban next game.
I mean, what is this, like the 3rd time now we've seen Guan get through, and then he just becomes
A
a complete bully, right?
Well, I do believe yesterday Ionicus was struggling a little bit against Monday Night Chris.
Yeah, I mean, like, I just don't get it, right? The ban. I mean, I guess the Raptors were kind of the one that kind of flexed those RDO bans and the King Arthur bans instead of, kind of going towards the more traditional bans. But I mean, the Frost Foxes had the opportunity to take that Guan Yu, right? But instead they opted for the Lance. I mean, and in my personal opinion, this Guan Yu is too much of a menace in the solo lane for you to pass it up.
Just it's a lot to handle, man. I mean, it's like you were saying, once he just gets that lead, man, he's one of those gods you just can't mess around with. You got to take a bit more seriously.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the lead, he's got the sustain, he's got the incredible prot shred on him. So, Uchi, I mean, game number 1, we definitely have to give this one to Mr. Bud Button, am I right?
Undoubtedly, man. I'd have to put Quex in a close second there, him able to get other people ahead as well. But Bud he literally handled his lane, rotated, and said, "Hey guys, I'm here to help."
Yeah, just kind of a dominant performance there. I mean, what do you think going into game number 2? What do you think the Frost Foxes should kind of do there to, maybe get back in this one, make amends for what happened in game 1?
I think we definitely banned the Guan, and I think they're gonna have to realize if they get behind, they just gotta keep getting that farm like It's Hunter was doing, man. People trying to secure everything, and he was just out there farming, knowing what he had to do.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we'll see those changes coming into game number 2. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with the action.
And I've been chilling, watching the ocean with you. Baby, up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our cloudlands when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the mall soon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding.
We're back. Game number 2 is upon us between the Frost Foxes and the Raptors. So we were talking about it a little bit before, but here, let me ask you another question, Uchi. Do you believe that maybe it was the comps, or do you think maybe the Raptors are a more dominant team? I mean, can you truly say that if they ban that Guan away, it's a much more competitive game?
I don't know. It looked like Bud was pretty sufficient man in himself. I think the biggest thing they just need to do is if they do end up getting behind, they just gotta prioritize that farm, man. Quit looking for them fights.
Yeah, I mean, and hopefully they can do that here going into game number 2. Hades getting banned again. A big healing nuisance in that soul lane, bringing an insane amount of pressure. Kabrakan falling down this time. Frost Fox has said, we got it last time, but we don't want it, and we don't want to deal with it. On
It
the
loo-
other side, though, this time the Raptors banning away the Guan Yu. They said, hey, we just had a dominant performance. Maybe the Frost Foxes are going to look at it for that first pick, so let's go ahead and take that away. Yamoja getting banned again. Healers galore, get out of my game, and Kepri gone.
Kepri is very big to me. The Daji as well. It's looking like all pretty staple bands right now.
Yeah, I mean, last game, everything that kind of just did what it was supposed to do was a lot of the meta stuff, right? I mean, a lot of the nice meta things you want to see. You had that rat jungle that is pretty decent. Normally, you've been seeing a lot more in the soul lane, but did its work in the jungle that game. In the soul lane, you saw that Guan Yu popping off. Ganesha, you never really want to ban a Ganesha. And then again, who's banning Tiamat and who's banning Charybdis?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I personally get Cryptus banned against me in other leagues. It's kind of annoying.
Well, that's a different story. When you're a Charybdis one trick, that's all they got to ban, and then what are you gonna do afterwards, right?
This is facts. This is facts.
But I mean, hey, look, Najad getting picked now. Another one of those junglers that we're talking about. That's a big nuisance here after those buffs. I mean, do you think Najad is worthy of a top pick?
I think Nishan is pretty strong if you got somebody that can play him with a team that can execute off what he brings to the table. I think stand by himself, unless you're just a great player in general, I think Najah is in a good spot. I think you bring a team that knows how to work around it and a player that knows how to play it to definition. I think it's just a monster stop.
Yeah, I mean, Naja with those buffs
Feel my
does an
blessing.
insane amount of damage now. Ultimate actually feels like it does damage to people. Doesn't feel like you're tickling them while you're up in the air. On the side of the Raptors, though, grabbing up that canvas that's that you were talking about, that big nuisance god that just heals way too much and does so much damage. Terra getting picked up now too. A lot of CC, and honestly, we've been seeing a lot of play out of Terra again. Again, same thing. Another abuser of the Fey Blessed Hoops, right?
Yeah.
We're starting to see a little bit of a trend here, right? Just Fey Best Hoops abusers are getting banned and picked on cooldown. Freya going to the Frost Foxes yet again. That will probably more than likely fall into the hands of its hunter.
Yeah. Hunter doing great in my opinion on the Freya last game. Only person that was really keeping up in the farm, so he was able to get that Freya late game online. We saw a turn on it.
I
Hopefully
will
we
leave
see
standing
some
no
impact gain on it.
barrier to our success.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see though in this one because Terra, I feel like is gonna have a lot more of a fun time in the Freya, right? Can root her, can stun her. I mean, it's gonna be very difficult for Freya to be able to not only keep her beads, but just honestly just stay alive. But talking about some good backline peel for that Freya, that's what Ganesha brings to the table. They didn't have a lot of it last game, and so to decide in this game, let's go ahead and bring a little bit of peel, a little bit of setup in the form of this Ganesha.
I think the Ganesh here is a solid pick. I mean, it's like you said last game. I called it. You get that triple initiate. You just leave the back line all by itself there for a second. It's a lot, man. Your back line's just back there with a rat diving on it. I've been there on that side of things, and it's just not fun. We do see the Tsukiyomi hovered here, though, which is ironically, even though I'm known as Charybdis One Trick, my most played god. Pretty excited to see if he gets picked up here.
Yes, I mean Tsukiyomi here getting hovered. That's the Kexan staple, but no X ball getting shifted over and locked in. They didn't go for their jungler option there. I mean, with that hover though, it more than likely seems like this Camazotz might go into the solo lane. I mean, maybe that Tsukiyomi was just a bluff. and this Camazotz is going to go that wayside, but I more than likely feel like this Camazotz will go to Bud Nen. Into the second phase of banning, Cthulhu getting banned. Interesting one. Cthulhu's been seeing a lot of play recently, has done very well. But I mean, with an X-Ball though, it's like X-Ball can just, I feel like, shred him when he goes up into his ultimate. But they just didn't. Or actually, my bad. X-Ball would just kind of shred him as he goes up into his ultimate, but not really wanting to deal with it. The Raptors deciding to ban that away. AMC, another great pick going on the bans, and there's that Tsukiyomi ban on the side of the Frost Foxes. Maybe it was a bait and switch, right, Uchi?
Yeah, I mean, Quexen is known as a Tsukiyomi as well. Highly respect his, so maybe they still want to get in his hands with that performance from game one.
I mean, hey, he didn't have to do it on the Suki. He did it on the Ratatasker. Vulcan coming through. See, you were talking about Frost Foxes needing that big damage off of the Naja ult, that big burst damage, and the Raptors here just kind of stealing away one of those big burst damages off of a Naja ult.
I mean, Naja ult, you come down, you Vulcan ult, it's bye-bye, whoever you are.
Yeah, I mean, now I feel like it's going to be very tough for this Naja to kind of live going into these late game fights, right? She's going to ult someone and be like, hey, guys, help. I have someone up in the air. Let's do some damage to him. And then she's going to land down. There's going to be a meteor strike coming right into her face. But talking about a meteor strike coming into your face, we have a Scylla getting hovered here. A Scylla Naja ult, that's the type of burst damage that we were talking about.
And see, I'm a personal lover of Scylla as well. Personally, one of my favorite mages. Bit tricky to get online because that early clear it is rough on her right now. But a late game Scylla, if they can just keep her safe, she can do most of the work
crushing
herself
of one's enemies.
Yeah, Scylla's kind of in that weird position right now where her early game clear is so horrendously bad that she kind of just gets bullied, pokes out, gets massively behind, and it's very difficult for her to thrive in this meta right now. Even with the buffs to Conduit Gem, still her clear does not do enough, and it's just very, very tough to see her in this meta working. I mean, there's so many gods that do just so much more damage, like this Vulcan, like Disco. There's just so many options, but maybe they're going with a little bit more of a comfort pick for Drayo here. Maybe he likes Scylla. Maybe feels like it's a good pick that flexes well into their team. And then Ravana coming through in on the jungle for them. Actually, that's going to be Ravana solo. My bad. Ravana solo. Haven't seen that in a while. Do you think Ravana solo is still good?
I still get flashbacks to when Louis, I Terminator, played Ravana one game back when Lonos Mask was still an item and not a starter. I just remember him running at me and never killing me, man. I'll never forget that. So Ravana solo to me, one of the scariest you can get.
Yeah, I mean, but hey, that Lonos Mask now is a starter item, so not as unkillable as he used to be. That's why his play maybe went down a little bit. But I mean, hey, he still has that good setup. He still has some decent burst if you build him more of a hybrid build in that solo lane. A Wheelix getting picked up on the side of the Raptors. That's really good in the Scylla, man. That you can literally just dry ult that Scylla whenever she tries to dash. But I mean, they have that simple, easy combo though too, with the Vulcan meatball straight into an Awelix ult.
Yep, and I mean that mid combo right there. I think this game, if you're the Raptors, you just leave Bud over there on the camo. He's gonna be chilling. You let the Terra get the G-ball going, and I think this Awelix Vulcan, man. I think they're just gonna play so well off each other.
Yeah, I mean, Awelix and Vulcan are known to be a nice, nice dynamic duo that can kind of work well together. Good, insane bursts out of the Wheelix and kind of that CC route for Vulcan to easily be able to hit his combos. And then even after Vulcan meatballs, ults, now you got another stun route into there. So, I mean, they just kind of mesh very well. But, I mean, on the Frost Foxes, I'm not gonna lie. They have a little bit of a decent identity in this game, right? Maybe last game their identity was all dive, right? Didn't really work out for them. But this one, they can play more of that counter engage, right? Naja can kind of just sash somebody, ult them up, and they can just aim to just kind of burst down that one target really fast. Could even be a frontliner such as this Camazotz.
Yeah, I think with the Frost Foxes, I mean, you got Scylla and you got Freya, so another double matchable backline. But, two of the gods that are two of the meteor late game mages. So if they can get them online, maybe try to get them a bit ahead or just keep up in the farm to the late game. I think the team fights may go the way of the Frost Foxes this game.
Yeah, I mean, Frost Foxes, they have that high burst, high damage Freya in the duo lane, kind of comfort pick for It's Hunter. It's Hunter, I know It's Hunter. He's a little bit less of a meta pick type of god. As here we are going into game number 2 between the Frost Foxes and the Raptors. But It's Hunter likes to play those non-meta things. He's a Freya player. He's a Chronos player. He also. He likes to build some peculiar builds, as you saw in that last one. Though Nakaron's corn on Freya. I don't think I've ever seen that getting built. As
I
we see
don't.
this Terra, this has been a lot of the new meta, right? Just invading these purple buffs, stealing away the enemy team's purples. Oh my goodness. Did she get that? Oh my, she didn't even get it. She's gonna die. She's gonna die now too. Oh, that's terrible. That feels. I was gonna say I haven't seen a Terra attempt to do that, so I was like, is she actually gonna be able to clear it? But hey, now we know the answer, and the answer is no.
Um, that puts It's Hunter ahead. And last game, in my opinion, he was the biggest impact player off of the Foxes. So let's see what he can do with this first blood this game.
Yeah, I mean, if It's Hunter can get a massive early lead, I mean, a Freya ahead is scary. Uncle Fable, though, kind of getting ran at by Kexen. That early game matchup will be kind of interesting to me. I feel like I do favor the Awilix a little bit more in that. Has a little bit more CC to kind of combo Uncle Fable, though, looking at Rich on this Vulcan in mid lane. If there's one thing that Naja is really good into, it's a Vulcan with a turret, right? Vulcan throws that turret down. Naja is going to ring toss off of that and get a nice kill. Oh, Honkler so close, forcing the beads out there. If he was literally just level 3, he kills him there.
The sustain here off the Kama, though, we do see the Tainted Steel again, which we had talked about yesterday. We saw the Warriors accent to the Brawlers. This Tainted, I don't know if it's enough just to keep up with this Kama right now, though, as Honkler goes into the Soul Eater yet again.
Yeah, Titan Steel has a lot of bloated anti-heal on it, just really good stats too. He'll be able to trade pretty decently into this Kama early. Maybe if this Kama, gets a CAD shield online, gets a little bit more life steal in the kit, it's gonna be a lot more difficult for him to just be able to trade into him. But I mean, at this point in time, I feel like the Ravana could take him on.
Okay. Not too familiar with that matchup, so I will trust you on it. It does appear that Kama is a bit lower than Ravana here.
Yeah, hey, this is a different story from the first game, though. Talking about different story too. Glitcher gonna look. Oh my goodness, I thought Glitcher was gonna fall there yet again. The X ball dashing out. It's Hunter. We were talking about that. You give this Freya a lead, he's going to do damage, but watch out, It's Hunter. You're not the tank. You're taking a lot of poke there, and Ghostman punishes him for the aggressive dive. Biggest Ian wasn't able to catch up to his teammate, and his Freya falls in the process.
I'm not too familiar with Ghostman or this division mostly, but playing the G-Ball now, man, the backup god I normally go to. Very interesting to see this man just dominating over here with it.
Yeah, it's Hunter got a little, a little overzealous there, got a little aggressive, and kind of just paid the price, which you don't want to sit there and let an X wall just sling autos on you. Those bola autos on that one do a lot of extra damage, and it adds up very quickly. We were just praising Honkler a couple seconds ago for the dominant performance he's having in the solo lane. But now look at this. Bubba Land, level 5, going for the kill, picks up the kill on him. Tower, gets him low, but not enough. Bud Nen soloing. It's Honkler in game number 2 for the first time.
Bud is just Aaron, it's not just what he plays, man. It's just he's going hard over there.
That purple buff is the next set of sight for the Raptors. Weren't able to get that, but said, hey, we'll just take biggest Ian's life in the process. Glitcher very low, though. It's Hunter doing immense damage. That support could not sit there and stand those autos. Now the rest of the team just kind of getting out. That was a nice invade by Kexen, though. Bud then doing his thing in the soul lane, knows he doesn't really need to worry about that side of the map, and looks to pressure the duo side on It's Hunter, who did have a nice early start.
Yeah, It's Hunter also over the Bancrofts this time. We are seeing the T2 ring.
Yeah, what do you think? What do you think that's gonna be? Hecate? What do you think it's gonna be?
If I'm Freya, I'm going probably, I don't know, you're ahead enough now. Not level, but probably gold wise, you can probably get the hasten and try to rush maybe the Bancroft Snokes. But I would
Yeah,
say the Hikata.
I just feel like I feel like I don't know. At least in my personal opinion, I feel like Hekate or not Hekate, the the uh the one that gives you the movement speed cap. I'm drawing blanks on the name of the item. I feel like that item, it just not enough power attached to it, and it's already difficult for these magical ADCs to kind of get that power online that they want. I mean, but hey, he's got some options in that ring column, right? He's got the demonic grip. He's got the telekines. He's got the Hekate. Though he's more than likely gonna go Bancrofts, so you might not see that. Onclair said, I'm tired of getting soloed over here in this solo lane. I'm going to try to solo Bud Nen, but that sustain out of the Kamazots is able to keep him alive.
And I'm wondering if he does, and he does get the Transcendence online for this back here. Honkler's still working on making sure he gets that Soul Eater online.
I mean, yeah, I think Honkler should have enough gold here coming up soon to buy that one. Maybe like one more wave, so we'll get that too. I mean, and that Soul Eater is going to stack a heck of a lot faster than that Transcendence. Transcendence, it's only kills that you get, right? Whereas on that Soul Eater, it's all kills around you. So he's going to finish that Soul Eater a lot faster. And, I mean, that sustain is going to be very big for Ravana. I mean, here it is. They're looking at it again. The purple buff, blink in by Glitcher. Oh, it's gonna pop here soon. Maybe do a lot of big damage. Ganesh all coming through to peel for his ADC. But look at that whoop. That whoop was something nice. X-Ball ult coming through, but not enough for his team. Kexon's coming back. What are you doing, Hunter? Hunter, what were you doing? You standing right there. Ult coming back out from It's Hunter. Ult's getting traded. I mean, this is insane. They keep walking back in. There's four for the Raptors now. Just get away, Frost Foxes.
Yeah, I mean, I think that also plays off, like I was saying with Dre here. I like the Scylla pick. Does take a while to get online. Allows Rich to just rotate there. Beads and ult down on Hunter as well from that rotation.
Yeah, I mean, now It's Hunter is going to have to play safe. Maybe even have to kind of play less aggressive Sinner's Tower a little bit, at least till one of those comes up, either the ult or the beads. Ult will more than likely come up before it. But I mean, real quick, look at these mid lanes builds, right? You were talking about last game. You wanted to see some anti-heal out of them. Look at that. First item, Divine Ruin on this Scylla. And then on the side of Rich there, we have a Spear of the Magus.
I am not too familiar with mid lane here. Spear of the Magus still a good first flat pin to rush, or is Devo?
I honestly don't even think any flat pen is good to rush, as we see the Frost Foxes rushing to get this purple buff dead before the rotation comes in. Ult coming through off the mark by Rich. It's Hunter trying his absolute best just to peel the enemy team off of him. Dash in by Ghostman. He might be able to find this pick, but the minion wave is blocking Estreo, ulting just to survive. On the cat is Kexon, but not quick enough, and the team gets out for the Frost Foxes as they did a highway robbery on the purple buff.
Yeah, free purple, able to get out. Nobody's lost there. Looks like the most you're going to lose here is Scepter.
I mean, honestly, they should have just pulled Gold Fury. You saw 3 back out of them. You who the solo laner is. He's literally beating up on your solo laner right now. I mean, the only one you didn't know where they were at is Uncle Fable. Oh my goodness, what an ult. Max range from Uncle Fable, but wasn't needed. Honkler picking up the solo kill onto them as Glitcher trying to steal away some of these totems. He did end up getting one, but at what cost? He's probably more than likely going to fall here unless he makes some amazing outplay. And there is the fall as he dies, ulting just to kind of ult there. It's Hunter picking up the kill. Hey, this Freya, even though 3-1, is still a level down to the Ghostman though.
Yeah, Ghostman's still stacking, but it's Hunter out here getting those kills, finally catching up in level off that the minis on purple, it looks like. Going into another ring as well. I am interested to see which one this will be, because like we had discussed, not a lot of pin last time from the Foxes, so.
I mean, yeah, Magical Hunters they don't get pen, right? Like, that's why they're not meta right now, right? They just don't get a lot of pen in their builds. Not a lot of variety and options. A lot of the options are for ability based, right? You have Ob Shard, you have all these items that are more geared towards ability based mages and not these auto attacker ones. So I mean, you may see a demonic, you may see even a telekines coming out of him too, but at least he has that Hekate, he has that sustainability in lane and can kind of box into this X-Ball now.
And it is kind of interesting to see. We had talked about it last game. This Americans is paying off for him here.
Yeah, I mean, Mannequin's doing a decent amount of damage. Frost Foxes looking at that blue buff yet again. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, the Frost Foxes are looking to kill Bud Bunnen after stealing away this blue buff. Oh, Uncle Fable getting a little overzealous. Ulting. Oh, Honkler. Hello, timing? Uncle Fable picking up the first kill onto Kexen there. Maybe looking to pick up the second kill on the Bud Bunnen, but letting him survive. 1-for-1 trade. Solo laner for the jungler. I mean, Hogler with a swing and a miss there.
Yeah, and he went up, but he came back down a bit too soon. Just a bit misjudgment, I think, on the ult. Nothing too big, but he does cost him his life, and it looks like Fable is going to lose
And
his.
then now Uncle Fable loses his life as he attempted to escape that blue buff steal, but there's that pesky Camazotz jumping back in, getting that slow, and then Rich rotating over from the mid lane. It's Dreo was forced to kind of sit back there and clear that mid wave. That's what we're talking about with this Scylla, man. Terrible clear into the early game. It's very rough for her to get online.
I am surprised to see, again, not too familiar with mages myself, but it appears this Vulcan is also going into, I'm assuming, is a soul gem.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, he's just buying items, right, man? He's just closing his eyes. He's scrolling up and down on his mouse wheel until he finds an item, and he's like, okay, I'm building that this game, right? Because there's no way that's anything close to the meta. I mean, I still believe Warlock staff is the way to go. You want that healing, want that extra sustain, and then you just want to get staff of the Mirrodin online and some pen.
Yeah, I do think that is pretty much the staple build we've been seeing. I am curious as how this is going to play out. We have established that he has the pressure over the Scylla with this early game clear, and he's just able to make the rotations off of it. But I'm wondering how this is going to turn out when it finally hits late game and Scylla's got what she needs. Because Soul Reaver, I was thinking it was going to be a Thoth. My bad.
Yeah, Soul Reaver, again, another item where I'm saying he's just scrolling down the wheel, right? Like, Soul Reaver, good with more HP. When do gods have more HP? Later on in the game, not at these earlier stages. So, I mean, it's not even a good power spike. Honestly, you can get way better items for much cheaper. But, hey, at least the item's checked off the list. He needs to get it at some point. It's checked off the list now. Talking about checking off the list. Frost Foxes want to check off grabbing the first objective. It's Dreo, though, ulting the Pyromancer. And now the Gold Fury is going to get traded out on the other side of the map. Ult for ult from the mid laners to secure the objectives. Raptors, very smart play out of them.
Yes, and with the recent changes, gold is worth more than Pyro now. So I do think the Raptors come away with that win there. It's no longer just a trade-off.
Yeah, I mean, Gold Fury, a lot less tankier now. A lot easier for you to be able to clear that and then maybe rotate over to defend the Pyromancer. But I mean, yeah, still a net positive for the Raptors. A little bit more gold in their pockets. The gold discrepancy did get nerfed a little bit for the Gold Fury, but so did the protections. But I mean, hey, still a net positive, probably going by the wayside of the Raptors. But hey, the Frost Foxes though, they're improving in this game, man. Last game at this point, they were down like 4 or 5K gold. Look at them now; they're actually up and winning.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, I think they're just taking their time this game and they're actually getting that farm in, which is something I feel they tried to skip over last game, man. A lot more impressed with them this game.
Yeah. I mean, they're actually farming. Look, they're getting towers too. They're getting objectives. They're actually grouping as a team and using their ults in a coordinated fashion. Though, I'm still feeling a little eerie about it, right? Bud Bunnen, he's got this CAD shield now. He's gonna get online a little bit. We do have a lot of anti-heal though, so maybe this Camazotz isn't gonna be able to pop off.
And we do see the ult from Ghostman to try to display during the Kama ult. I'm wondering if Bud gets out. He does, but what is this going on here with Ian?
Biggest Ian caught in a terrible spot, getting picked off into the jungle there. There's a big knock up in an ult for Kexen. Cleans up Uncle Fable. Just when I was giving the Frost Foxes praises, now look at them. They're going to go 3 down here in about a couple seconds. Ravana forced the ult out, but it's not going to be enough. Oh, my Vulcan ult coming through. No, off the mark. Blink coming out of the Honkler. He does survive there, but they're diving this tower for this Scylla. Knock up, deletion by the wayside of Rich. And now Kexen on the backside. He's looking. Minion wave coming in. I don't see Honkler getting out of this one alive. Doesn't have ultimate immunity flip down. He will fall here any second, and down he goes too. But Kexen falls. I mean, hey, a 4-for-1 tower dive, and you still trade out a kill. That's a little bit of dub there for the soul laner.
A little bit. He's getting that gold. I don't think that was a think Quexen had already died, so no shutdown gold, but still massive to get at least the jungle down.
Ian dashing in here, a little odd, seeing as how the only thing up was Fire Giant. I don't really think they would have been able to do a 14-minute Fire Giant, but hey, guess what? Maybe he was baiting, because on the backside, its Hunter comes through with pure deletion on the side of Rich. This Camazot's jumping in, but hey, he doesn't have ultimate, he doesn't have beads. He does have beads actually, but decided not to use them. Finally, beads comes out, but a little too late as Uncle Fable picks up the kill on the Bud button. And I mean, Frost Fox is on the right side of the map, man. They trolled that, or they trolled that fight a little bit. 3 of them die, and then now look. Now the Raptors come right back and just kind of walk right at the Frost Foxes and give them a couple of free kills.
I think Hunter's not playing any games this game, man. I mean, he went the demonic like we were talking about for that pin, making sure his team's got it this game. He's just coming in on a mission, making sure he can get as much done for his team as he can.
Yeah, all right. So, you know, we were talking about these rings, a decent amount of options. You got Demonic that gives you some penetration and it's passive. Telekines that gives you that scaling bonus damage to HP. But, I mean, those items, they don't have a lot of power, right? So now it kind of, oh, watch yourself, X-Ball. Are you going to be able to get out in time? He does escape. But, I mean, we were talking, right? What power items is this Freya going to go now, right? Because these rings, they're very low in power. So you're going to need something that gives you a big, huge power spike in these last 2.
Personally, you know, finishing up a ring, I personally would like to see the Telkines here. And then maybe we just go for that Bancroft. You know, we talked about how he upgraded it early last game. If he upgrades it now, I think he still gets pretty good portion of the power from, or the passive with the attack speed. Allows him to swing a bit more. And personally, I'd like to see the Typhon's last, finish off some of that pin for him. Good amount of power and mana.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like, you know, that's kind of the problem right now with these mage ADCs. They either sacrifice a lot of power or they sacrifice pen. So I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see Uncle Fable blinking in, but a little bit off the mark. Ring toss not able to catch him. Camazot's forced to ult away just to survive, and the chase is over for the Frost Foxes. On the other side of the map, though, Glitcher trying to do it again, trying to steal away some of these, but hey, he's getting a little overzealous. It's Hunter, big damage, but look at that, knock up into the pool by the Awilix. Uh-oh, he's gonna land on that ult. No, it's a little off the mark from Rich. It's J.O. He's still 2 levels down, but he doesn't care. He's dashing in onto Rich right now, but I mean, both of these teams just backing off. The Soul Laner did rotate over though, so maybe Gold Fury is the call here.
You know, we do see Bud coming up, though. You know, I don't know. Even being a man down here, I think this is still a bit iffy.
Oh yeah, it'd be very tough for the Frost Foxes to be able to pull this Gold Fury here and actually secure it, right? I mean, they are gonna pull it though. I mean, if Fable's doing one thing, he is buying a whole lot of time. Ult going up into the air as Gold Fury is extremely low. Ult coming through, but oh my goodness, he didn't last hit it. The ult wasted on the Gold Fury, and the Raptors pick it up. Honkler picking up a kill on the Kex, and Bud Ned now being that dominant factor. He's gonna kill this mid laner any second now. And now he's like, hello, Honkler. Here I am. Are you ready, buddy?
Is this a quad?
No, the Quadra is not coming through as Honkler is forced to ult away. I mean, you said it, man. You said it. I don't believe that they could pull it. They pulled it, and look, they paid the price.
You know, we got the Trev pushed up here, too. He is going to get out, but Honkler right there after the Kama miss, I don't know if we saw it, but there was a little bit of a back, and then realizing they're still there.
Yeah, he's like, I'm safe underneath this tower. And he's like, oh, talking about safe. Bud Nen is far from that. Blink coming through on the Honkler, trying his best to pick up the kill, but that 2-level discrepancy came in, and Bud Nen is literally just going to walk away after that onslaught that the Honkler tried onto him. But I mean, that's tough. Gold Fury's gone now. Tier 2 tower's gone now. That like they even took the Tier 1 tower before that gold fight too. I mean, the Frost Foxes, they were looking good, man. They were like 500 gold up, and now look, now they're 5k gold down. What happened in this short amount of time?
I think, I'm being honest here, man. I really think these team fights need to go around It's Hunter for the Foxes. They need to put everything they can in to protect him.
Oh my goodness. Look at that steal from the Naja. That's sickening.
I mean, little plays like that, man, they're making it. Got the Pyro there, Team Gold. I still stick by what I said, though, man. I think in these fights, they got to protect It's Hunter. He's doing everything he can and getting targeted in these fights.
Yeah, I mean, it's Hunter, the #1 damage dealer on, or maybe not, no, not the #1 damage dealer, my bad. The #1 in terms of, oh, actually, the #1 damage dealer on his team also, and in the lobby. Talking about net worth #1 on his team. Let's talk about net damage in the game. So hey, what you're saying might be correct, man. Let's keep this damage dealer alive. We need some damage. Scylla not really pumping out the numbers, only 5K and down 4 levels. It's going to be very tough to do damage to them, especially into a Camazotz who, honestly, can just immune a lot of her damage with that ultimate and even that jump.
You know, I personally, I love the cooldown of it, but I'm not a big fan of it in comp, man. Going this Chronos pendant on the Scylla.
Oh, Raptors were able to secure that Fire Giant. It's Drayo again, just a couple seconds off of the mark. There's that ultimate I'm talking about on the dash from Scylla. Kexen cleaning up the kill with his ultimate just alone. Oh, Honkler going on the up down there to kill the jungler. Ghostman picking up Ian on the back end. No one was able to peel for It's Hunter in that fight, and you saw him fall instantly, and now the support is just being a nuisance on this jungler and soul laner, just trying to keep him there as Bud then rotates on the back end of this. There's no way this Naja gets out alive, right? No way. Oh my goodness, what was that pillar? Dash coming through, stun's gonna come through any second now. Sash coming up into the air, knock up, deletion, goodbye. That honestly could be a Phoenix here. That's 4 dead. They still have their ADC up with FG. They could take this left Phoenix.
I think they definitely get. I think mid's probably the easier option with the left being pushed up that far. I mean, I know it's EFG, but that is still a Phoenix, and it's not EFG, and that is still a Phoenix. Sorry about that, guys.
No, yeah, you're good.
But I think they definitely get the mid here. We are seeing the ult from Dre.
Honkler. Oh, Honkler tried his best to save that tier 2 tower for his team, but now he pays with his life. And now even Ian, who was attempting the peel for It's Drayo, dashing out, force the ult away. I mean, just so much is going wrong on the side of the Frost Fox's Bud then just kind of being disrespectful at this point. Blinks in, jumps in, ults in, now ulting away. Finally, he's in a 1v4, able to freely kind of get around that and get out. It's Hunter getting a little too aggressive, dashing in, trying his best to do a lot of damage. Beads and Aegis coming through on the side of him, and he's just forced to run away.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, man, I think Drake going the Chronos Pendant, I don't think was the play. It's like we were talking about. We need some of those power items. I mean, the Chronos Pendant, yeah, they buffed it back up to the 90 power a little while ago from the, I believe it was originally 100. I may be wrong, but buffing it back up to the 90. The cooldown is phenomenal. I just don't think it has a place on the Scylla's build that they need right now.
I mean, yeah. I mean, what do you even need it for? I mean, you got Sands of Time, right? You're gonna upgrade that for another 20% cooldown because there's no way you're going alternate timeline unless you just want to lose the game, right?
Yeah.
So you're gonna go to Sands of Time. You're gonna get that extra cooldown. I mean, Kexen here though, out of position, forced the beads and ult just for the movement speed alone, trying his best to stay alive. The up down from Honkler way off the mark there. Kexen honestly might be able to get out. No more abilities up for that. Rich just ulting to peel, but no one was even there. And then Kexen kind of gets out for that mistake he made. But I mean, back to what we were saying. Gonna upgrade that Sands of Time, right?
Yep.
Gonna get 20% cooldown there. Like you were saying, not a lot of power on the Chronos Pendant. What else would you have liked to saw that maybe gives you some of that cooldown, but also some of that power that you were talking about?
Personally, I would have went Sands of Time. I don't mind the Divine. I personally probably would have went the Book of Thoth there, but we'll take the Divine because they need the anti-heal. I think where they got the Soul Reaver, we needed that Book of Thoth, and then we needed that Staff of Murden.
Hello, Honkler? What was he doing up there? He's up there by himself trying to take the Scorpion. Now look at this. They're getting hungry. They're like, we got 1 kill. We want more. It's Drayo is on the menu. Munch, munch, munch. The Camazotz just ate him up. Now Glitch on the backline doing his best to set up, be a nuisance for the team. Root coming in onto Uncle Fable. Oh, they're trying their absolute best to pick up any kill here. Oh, biggest Ian with the juke boots on the ult from the Vulcan, and now this Phoenix on the right side is going to fall. Ult coming out on the Camazotz, but it's hitting him for 99. See, that's the tickling I was talking about. That used to be at all stages of the game for this ultimate on Naja. Now it is right now at this current stage. Vulcan, a lot of poke coming through, not a lot of return damage coming through on the end of the Frost Foxes, but it is a 2v5. all
You know,
forced from its hunter, and honestly, I do not believe that they can end this game.
I don't think so. I think the Treb there, you got some minions still. I think you take what you got and maybe would have tried to get that mid Phoenix down right
Scylla? Scylla? Why'd she ult there?
I'm not sure, man. I think they were trying to catch up, try to grab some, but they were already gone. Maybe just keep it in list. You knew it was going to be.
Hey, maybe that's why. Maybe that is why he decided to go for this Chronos Pendant. Maybe he's like, hey man, I'm just gonna keep eating these ults every time they're up. I got an extra couple of cooldown seconds off from the passive from this Chronos Pendant. But I mean, look at the damage from this Scylla, man. It's just tough. Only 90 more damage
And
than the
again,
Terra.
I just got to go back to this build, man. I mean, the most powerful item we got right now is Soul Reaver. And
I think it's Divine Rune, right? Divine Rune has over 100.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. You know, Divine Rune taking the #1 spot by a massive 5 power.
yeah. I mean, I think we needed more power, especially off Scylla being the backline here rather than cooldown. We're not really fighting too much over these objectives with the Scylla, other than we were early game when the Foxes had, in my opinion, they had control of the game for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, they had control of the game, like you were saying, for that decent early portion of it, right? But now, mid game and late game, it's all the Raptors, right? I mean, again, though, look at this. Look at all the 20s on the side of the Raptors. You said game #1, please, if you get behind, just farm. And it doesn't look like they're doing that here in game #2, as this Fire Giant is getting melted. Ian's probably going to eat the ult to try and seal it, but it might not be enough. Raptors do pick it up. I mean, that just has to feel terrible for the Frost Foxes.
Yeah, I mean, we see it once again here too. I mean, I was saying rally behind its hunter this game, man. He's only won level 20, was able to get that farm. I think he knew they just didn't need to contest fire there.
Yeah, I mean, also, are the Frost Foxes allergic to pen? Look, man, it's 26 minutes into the game, but then, okay, go ahead and solo its hunter from the side over there. But I mean, like, right, these. They just don't have any pen in their build. Like, finally, the Scylla's going to get some percent pen here in a second, as the red team, the Raptors, deciding to take this Phoenix and take Uncle Fable's life. They may be able to end this game here if they clean up here. Our biggest Ian falls now, too. The Honkler up and down on his ult, missing yet again. Ghostman is basically playing like an assassin as he's diving the mid lane. They're picking up the kill there. Honkler's going to fall here, too. And just when I was talking about builds, they decided we're going to end the game. Game #2, set, match.
I think it's like we said, man. I mean, when I saw the demonic, I think we just needed pin. I think some of the builds were a bit iffy, like we were talking about. Needing that pin, man, and I just really don't see none.
I mean, hey, when they died, they finished it, though. I'm proud of them, right? At least at the end, you'll see the 20% pen on the Scylla, finally, at 27 minutes. And then you'll see that 10% coming out of that notch out. But, I mean, every game, it's just no penetration. These tankier targets, they just don't die. Again, look, Bud Banen, he died a lot of those times early on in that game, right? He had 2 early deaths, died 1 time for the rest of the game, right? Like, how are you going to win a game if you can't kill their frontliners?
Yeah, I mean, well, I was trying to signal last game too. I forget the point, because you had asked me about I had asked about the Pele against the percent pin, and you saying the flat pin helps with the backline. But in those circumstances here, they had to deal with that front line before they could even worry about that backline, man.
Oh yeah, in this game, that front line was being a nuisance. Terra just blinking in, dashing. I mean, same thing with Bud Bunnen, blinking in, jumping, ulting. I mean, they had a lot to worry about from this front dive out of the Raptors. But I mean, hey, they fought that good fight early on. Like I said, we saw some good signs from the Raptors this game, right? I mean, what do you think they can take away from this?
I think the Raptors assured dominance. I think they showed that they had control of the map for the most part. Game 2 early, like we had talked about, a little bit iffy, but they were able to reclaim it. I think with the Foxes here, man, I think they just need to work on getting that pin online and also just work on farming rather than trying to take some of these fights. I mean, as I pointed out, it's Hunter realizing, I got to get this farm, maybe push the tower. There's no way we can really contest this right now.
Yeah, I mean, just a pretty tough performance there in the late game for the Frost Sauces game number 2. But I mean, hey, they had a much better early game. I'm proud of them. Keep working. I see where the improvements are gonna come in. Right, get this early game flow and transition a little better. I don't believe it's Dreo is their starting mid. Was maybe a call up from Amma. So maybe when they get their starting mid in there, he'll be able to provide a little bit more for this team too. I mean, here we go. Who, in your opinion, is this set's MVP?
This whole set, I gotta give to Bud, man. I mean, we saw him got a little bit behind game two, early game, but it's like you said, came back, died maybe one more time that whole game. Both games just completely dominant from the soul, like we saw last night.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree. I mean, Bud Bunnet did his thing in game number 1, soloing people, just kind of being a nuisance. And even this game, he got behind a little bit early. We thought, hey, maybe this Kama isn't gonna have such an easy time. And then, once the mid game kicked in, he just said, yeah, sorry about that. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, gotta give it to Bud. I would say, Ghostman, in my opinion, also an ADC main, maybe a bit biased here, but he did very well on both picks as well for his lane in these team fights.
Yeah, Ghostman, both games did pretty productive work. I mean, didn't even die in this game, so I mean, you can't really complain if somebody doesn't die. Am I right? But I mean, hey, that'll be it for this amazing set between the Raptors and the Frost Foxes. I am Hunter, and with me is Uchi. Thanks for tuning in, and see you next time.
Good night, everybody.
And I've been chillin', watching the ocean with you. Baby, up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our cloudlands when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the mall soon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding.
again. Trying hard, but you wanna be my friend. Ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. Here we go again. Call my bluff, I'ma be here till the end. I'm the one you ride, I'm the one you ride to. If you don't wanna change, ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. If you don't wanna change, I can help you out, 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 I can help you out. Here we go again. Time is up and I'm calling up my friends. Ain't no wonder why, ain't no one to ride to. Here we go again. Call me up and you wanna be my friend. I'm the one you ride, I'm the one you ride to. If you don't wanna change, ain't no place to hide.
And I've been chillin', watching the ocean with you. Baby, up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our clouds when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it.
again. Trying hard, but you wanna be my friend. Ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. Here we go again. Call my bluff, I'ma be here till the end. I'm the one you ride, I'm the one you ride to. If you don't wanna change, ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. If you don't wanna change, I can help you out, 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 I can help you out. Here we go again. Time is up and I'm calling up my friends. Ain't no wonder why, ain't no wonder right to. Here we go again. Call me up and you wanna be my friend. I'm the one you ride, I'm the one you ride to. If you don't wanna change, ain't no place to hide.
And I've been chillin', watching the ocean with you. Baby, up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our cloudlands when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the mall soon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding. And I'll be running, possessed by a low, low voodoo. Fired up like a wolf on the full moon. And we're stuck in a la la land. The tides will turn without us. And I'll be killing time like I might be a cartoon. Take it in real life like haiku. I know we got the good vibes when pieces fall right into place. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding.
again. Trying hard, but you wanna be my friend. Ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. Here we go again. Call my bluff, I'ma be here till the end. I'm the one you ride, I'm the one you ride to. If you don't wanna change, ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. If you don't wanna change, I can help you out, 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 I can help you out. Here we go again. Time is up and I'm calling up my friends. Ain't no wonder why, ain't no one to ride to. Here we go again. Call me up and you wanna be my friend. I'm the one you ride, I'm the one you ride to. If you don't wanna change, ain't no place to hide.
And I've been chillin', watching the ocean with you. Baby, up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our cloudlands when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the mall soon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Cause you got me holding. And I'll be running, possessed by a low, low voodoo. Fired up like a wolf on a full moon. And we're stuck in a la la land. The tides will turn without us. And I'll be killing time like I might be a cartoon. Take it in real life like haiku. I know we got the good vibes when pieces fall right into place. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding. Play me like a bass guitar, simmer down and mess me up, tripping like I'm Jimmy at Woodstock. Drive me around in your red Ford, shivers down my spinal cord. Oh, 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 oh. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't
go again. Trying hard, but you wanna be my friend. Ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. Here we go again. Call my bluff, I'ma be here till the end. I'm the one you ride, I'm the one you ride to. If you don't wanna change, ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. If you don't wanna change, I can help you out. 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 Here we go again. Time is up and I'm calling up my friends. Ain't no wonder why